Welcome back to Perkins Pipes. Man, we've got a mix of stuff going on here for you today. Got my Deep Purple shirt on because of their song Highway Star. Bringing out the Stryper pipe, the nice hardwood from Missouri Meerschaum that I modified to the colors of my favorite metal band Stryper, because they also covered the song Highway Star. Got my Mustang hat on because what we're talking about is not that song, but we are talking about racing, car racing. Got something really exciting for you today. So as always, let's get this guy lit. Let's get to talking. Got a little Red Virginia in here today. Not quite sure why. That somehow seemed appropriate to my mind, because I knew we'd be talking about NASCAR. So, we often talk about some kind of high-level, highbrow stuff on this channel. And I gotta tell you, I love that stuff, but I also love just some good old-fashioned entertainment, too. And I want to talk to you about another one of my films. I love it. I enjoy it. It is the 1990 Tom Cruise movie, Days of Thunder. Now, Cruise gets top billing, but for my money, any movie that's got Robert Duvall in it, that's the reason you see the movie. Robert Duvall is in this as well, along with Randy Quaid and Nicole Kidman. Now, another reason I like this is because the theme song was called Last Note of Freedom, and it was sung by David Coverdale. David Coverdale is one of my all-time favorite vocalists. He was in Deep Purple, then Whitesnake, and Whitesnake was in their heyday in the late 80s to the early 90s, and so that's why he got tapped to do the song for the movie. So I like it for that reason as well. Days of Thunder. Remember when it came out? And had to get it obviously on. We may have even owned it on VHS. I'm not sure about that. But we certainly owned it on DVD. And going, Steve, you talk about Latin grammar. You talk about philosophy and poetry and things like that. What in the world are you talking about? Basically a bit of an action flick like Days of Thunder. First off, friends, it's Days of Thunder, the thundering sound of the engines of race cars, and in particular, these are NASCAR, stock car racing, right? Love it. Haven't been to a lot of races. I've been to the Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway a few times, and of course the Indy 500 a few times. And so I'm not a huge watcher of it, but certainly enjoy it. Love the sound, the sensation, especially if you're live. You know, the stands are vibrating and you're shaking and you're feeling the cars as they're going around the tracks. So I gotta say, that stuff's fun. Hey, I drive a Mustang, so I do enjoy this kind of stuff, right? There's a couple of aspects, though, to this movie that I want to talk about. So the story centers really on two characters. NASCAR driver Cole Trickle, played by Tom Cruise, and his pit boss, Harry Hogg, played by Robert Duvall. And we're not going to get into all the background of this. Just go watch the movie if you're interested. But Harry has gotten out of NASCAR racing. Or rather, NASCAR has kind of kicked him out of racing as the head of the pit crew there. Won't get into the reasons why. Again, you can find out in the movie. Cole Trickle is new to NASCAR racing. He's driven IndyCar prior, but he's lost his ride. He's lost his sponsor for that. And so now he wants to get back into racing via NASCAR racing. And what I like about these two characters is there is quite the character arc for both of them. Cruz's character doesn't really know much about NASCAR racing. In fact, he doesn't really know much about cars at all. He can drive, but he doesn't really know anything about cars. And you watch that develop over time. You watch his proficiency in his sport develop across the course of the movie. You find out that part of his problem has to do with his father. Again, I'm not going to get into all that right now, but part of the problem has to do with his father. And you see Robert Duvall's character function as a surrogate father for Cole Trickle. Older man, mentoring, fathering him, which is a beautiful thing to see. And I'll say this. If you didn't have a great father, or you just kind of feel the need to be fathered by an older man, that can still happen, right? There's lots of great guys out there that are they would love to mentor somebody, love to build into someone who's a little bit younger than they are. They've got a little bit of knowledge about the way the world works and so forth, and they would love to share that, and often they do with their grandchildren, grandsons, granddaughters, and so forth. That can still happen, even for you. So, there's that. There's also the arc of Cole Trickle in that as he gets into the NASCAR thing, at some point he actually there's a wreck. He's hurt for a while and then has to get back into racing, and he has to overcome the challenges and the doubts and everything that he has with racing, which he eventually does to great success. So again, great character development there. You also see it with Harry Hogg, character played by Duvall. And Harry is he's done. He's fed up with NASCAR. He's fed up with the way they do things. Again, they've kind of kicked him out of racing, and there's some questionable things about that. Was that really legitimate or not? And he's done. He's going back to farming, and that's it. But he gets drawn back in. And part of the arc for him is that his character, I think, comes to love the sport again. He loves designing cars, and he gets to do that again. And then there's also the mentoring of Cole Trickle, and you can see that he really enjoys that. And there comes a point where there's another young racer who comes into the picture, and you see Harry Hogg, Duvall's character, get very protective of Cole. And again, that kind of paternal instinct kicks in, and he kind of wants to protect Cole against this other driver who is a bit of a threat to Cole. So I love the character development. But then I love it for one particular scene. I enjoy the whole movie. I really do. I love the whole movie. But there's one particular scene where after Cole has had a terrible accident, and it's a deal where cars are hitting the wall and there's smoke and cars coming everywhere, Cole drives into this, bam, he gets hit by another car, destroys his car, and puts him in the hospital for a period of time. Well, he tries to get back into the racing and naturally is quite hesitant. All right, he's afraid of getting hit again. And almost the exact same situation occurs as had happened when he had his accident. Cars have hit the wall, they hit each other, smoke everywhere, cars are sliding down. Of course, you know how tracks are banked, right? You go around and kind of go up. Cars are sliding down that bank toward the bottom of the track. And the conventional wisdom, which Harry has tried to tell Cole, is that when you're headed into, we'll see if we can get a good, Bunch of smoke. Okay. So you see a bunch of smoke and cars, and you can't really see your path. Through all that smoke, you pick a line, you commit to it, and you drive through all the stuff. The conventional wisdom is by the time you get to where you're going, the other cars will have fallen, slid down to the bottom of the track, and you'll be able to drive through straight away. Now, it didn't happen in Cole's accident because something freak happened. One car hit another car, and that car then hit Cole. But the conventional wisdom should have worked. So when this exact same situation comes up again, Cole is rightly terrified. And Harry is on the headset, talking to him from the pit. And he says, pick a line and drive through it. He says, you can do it, Cole. I believe it. I believe it in my heart. Cole has to take the leap of faith. Do I believe what my father figure is telling me? He does. You can see his foot's on the metal. The camera comes down there. He wants to lay off, but he goes ahead and commits. He hits that pedal. He drives through the wreck, and let's do it one more time. All that smoke. This is fun to do. He drives through all that smoke and the wreckage. He gets through it, and then he calls to Harry over the headset. He says, I'm dropping the hammer. Boom, and he is out of there. And you know Cole is back, baby. And he goes on, and of course he wins the race. And that's not really spoiling anything because what else did you expect, right? What a great metaphor. And I know I'm going to go a little deeper on this movie than you might have expected, or that probably even the filmmakers expected, but okay. Pick a line and drive through it. What great advice. What great advice. Sometimes you just have to pick a line and drive through it in your life. There's all kinds of stuff, man. There's bills to pay, and oh my goodness, something happened to your car and you weren't expecting that, or the washer went out, or the refrigerator went out, and your kid gets sick. And there's stuff going on at work. We all have those times, right? And sometimes you just have to put your head down, pick a line, and drive through it. The natural tendency is like Cole to pull off the gas and pull back. Fear. Now, can't help getting a little spiritual on this. Your Father in heaven says the same thing. God urges us to trust Him. To trust Him. Think about what King David said in Psalm 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. That was the ancient world's version of pick a line and drive through it. They didn't have NASCAR in King David's time. What's the metaphor he uses? Even though I'm walking through the valley of the shadow of death, there's cars sliding down from the top of the track and there's smoking everywhere. Pick a line, commit to it, commit to the guidance of the Lord, and He will see you through. He'll see you through. So, anyhow, enough on that. I just want to talk about this movie. Do you know Days of Thunder? Do you like it? Tell us about it. Tell us what you enjoy about Days of Thunder. I just love the actors. I think Tom Cruise does a great job. Randy Quaid has some really good parts in there as well. Robert Duvall, baby. Robert Duvall. Doesn't get any better than Robert Duvall. And if you're not familiar with the title song, or the theme song from the movie, Last Note of Freedom. Go check that out. I'll see if I can put a link to that in the video. Anyhow, tell us what you think. As Malcolm Guite likes to say, I do these little things in order at last to do nothing. Or as I like to say in Latin, Parva aga ut tandem, nihil agam. Have a wonderful day, my friends.